Avatar has been James Cameron's passion project for well over 10 years. It's the highest-grossing film of all time, and now the legendary director is set to release the much-awaited sequel. In this video, we'll be talking about Avatar sequels and how they'll bring the Na'vi to Earth. Also, will James Cameron be passing on Avatar sequels to another director? Let's look into it and find out. First up, Avatar 5 is set to bring the Na'vi to Earth. It's been more than a decade since we returned to Pandora. James Cameron's universe has been under development for quite some time, and with Avatar: The Way of Water being released soon, talks about the world of Pandora haven't stopped. Anyone who's seen the first film knows that a significant part of Avatar takes place in the fictional world of Pandora. The film's lead, Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, leaves his earthly body for good and lives in his Na'vi body forever with Neytiri, played by Zoe Saldana. The mysterious land of blue aliens has intrigued audiences, and people want to see more of Pandora. It may come as a surprise that soon audiences will get to see the Na'vi people on Earth. Yes, that's what producer John Landau has said. How exciting is that? He said, Avatar 5 will open Neytiri's eyes to what exists on Earth. Neytiri's the real motivation behind taking things off Pandora and onto Earth. In the 2009 film, Earth was pretty much destroyed from being home to the RDA, the organization that had a self-serving purpose in many of Pandora's affairs. The prolific producer explained that there's a desire to expose Neytiri to the good side of what life on Earth has to offer. He expressed that Earth's not just represented by the RDA, it's also more about what good humans are capable of doing as well. As for Neytiri, Landau feels that she needs to see both sides of life on Earth, the one she saw in the first part, and now the one she's gonna know more about in the upcoming sequels. Up next, Avatar 5's Earth storyline could be huge for the franchise. The Avatar franchise is looking at a significant shift in its storyline since it was revealed that Avatar 5 will feature life on Earth. The entire plot taking place in the fictional world of Pandora allowed the audiences to fully involve themselves in the new world, and they were super impressed by its stunning visuals. Avatar 2 is also set to take place on Pandora, as the sequel will explore the underwater kingdoms of that world, and people are still anticipating a shift in its storyline. Luckily, and hopefully, they'll be satisfied when eventually the story takes place on Earth in the future sequels. Time will tell what the future of Pandora looks like, and audiences are eagerly awaiting the release of future sequels. But of course, shifting the storyline to Earth could present production challenges, as the Na'vi have never been seen on the screen outside of Pandora. The visuals of Avatar: The Way of Water will only get better by the time Avatar 5 is released. The blue aliens on Earth could easily be accomplished in production, as the visual effects would be centered around enhancing life on Earth rather than creating a different world from scratch with CGI. Avatar 5 is tipped for a release in 2028, and the other sequels are distributed across the years in between. What's more, Avatar 2 proves that the sequel could be worth it. The impending release of Avatar: The Way of Water marks the beginning of a huge plan for the future of the franchise. The stakes are super high for this. As if the hype around Avatar 2's release wasn't enough, it also has to compete with the legacy of its record-breaking predecessor. 2009's Avatar is the highest-grossing film of all time, gathering a whopping $2.9 billion at the Lifetime box office. The film was also the first of its kind to feature advanced technology and breathtaking visual effects. After multiple delays, Avatar: The Way of Water has been one of the most anticipated films of the year. The legendary Titanic director is the captain behind this ship too, pun intended, and judging by his incredible array of previous films released, we're all excited for the next sequel. Titanic and Avatar were visually stunning, with unbelievable technological effects and an amazing soundtrack. Both of Cameron's films broke box office records, and might we just say that Avatar: The Way of Water could be groundbreaking too, although Cameron doesn't really think that it could break another box office record previously held by its predecessor, but he anticipates that audiences will be blown away by the storyline. While the director hasn't said anything about the visual effects of the sequel, Avatar 2 star Stephen Lang has hinted that they're unlike what people have seen before. Also, did we mention that the music sounds spectacular? The Weeknd recently released a teaser of the exciting new song that's part of the original soundtrack. Avatar's visual effects had changed CGI forever, and with the newly added water effects, it sounds like the people are in for another groundbreaking movie. Not to mention, Avatar 2 might sound better than the first movie. While Avatar 2 has lower box office recordings, the incredible visual effects may just create the necessary hype. Part of the reason why the first part was a gigantic success was because of the use of never-before-seen CGI that brought the world of Pandora to life. The blue aliens, in their strange but welcoming habitat, gave us a look into the breathtaking universe. We just wanted to live in it forever. And now, with 13 years in the making, audiences can set their time for the release of The Way of Water. Spending all this time on the sequel has allowed Cameron to develop outstanding technological effects that could possibly outshine or dethrone the first part. We know it's crazy to even think of this, considering 2009's Avatar set the standards that define the coming era of visual and technical effects, but we can't help it. As much as audiences are looking forward to the continuation of the story, people are more excited to see the stunning world of Pandora Pandora again. Even the star of the sequel, Stephen Lang, has said so himself. "I've never seen anything like it, and I've seen Avatar. It's pretty out there. It's beautiful." The success of the sequel will make sure that other sequels get the much-needed attention and excitement. If the sequel has the same impact as 2009's Avatar, the advanced technological effects could change the world of filmmaking. The outstanding visuals of the first movie hold a lot of promise for the sequel, and we're excited to see when it's released. Following up, Cameron reveals whether he would pass the franchise to another director. James Cameron has been behind this mind-blowing franchise for the past decade, and it's hard to imagine Pandora without him. In an interview, he talked about the possibility of handing over the reins of production to another director, probably someone who has the same knack for technical effects as Cameron does. Whoever the other director may be, they'd have to learn a lot about the universe of Avatar, its people, and how to bring it all to life on screen someday. Of course, Cameron wants to continue working on the sequels, but he also believes that he wants to take out the time to explore other projects too. He expressed that the studios that are writing massive checks to create the world of Avatar have made the success of the films quite persistent with the fans' expectations. "We haven't been let down at all." Cameron's outstanding filmmaking voice will be missed whenever he decides to step down from the throne that he sat on for well over a decade. With Disney now owning 20th Century Fox, Avatar is going to live for a long time, with or without the legendary man. Here's hoping that Cameron gets to see his vision come to life in the later parts. Let's look at Cameron's other hit films while we're talking about him. While Cameron is aware of Avatar's world and all the technical aspects of the film, he's worked in other franchises that have been handed over to other people too, so he's pretty familiar with and confident that the other director won't mess with the originality of Avatar. He co-wrote and directed Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and the franchise continued without the eye of Cameron for years. He returned 28 years later with 2019's Terminator Dark Fate, and that was still a hit. How can we forget that Cameron also directed 1986's Aliens, a classic sci-fi film? The director took the seat from Ridley Scott after his 1979 version, and the film went on to earn a lot at the box office. Even though it seems unreal that Cameron might not be behind the camera for Avatar's future sequels, there's still hope that Pandora's universe will continue to exist long after he's left the table. It's no surprise that Cameron is capable of not just creating massive hits, but he's also been passing on beloved franchises to other directors, and they've all been successful. We're totally in to see who else is going to take on the challenge. Lastly, how will the world of Avatar change in its future sequels? Avatar 5's Earth storyline has a good reason to be included. It teases the relations between the Na'vi and the humans, and their interaction is something to look forward to. Although, Avatar 2 does highlight that the humans might not really be welcoming to the Na'vi. The storyline centering around the fact that not all humans on Earth are bad is an interesting take, especially for the upcoming sequels. Neytiri needs to learn that not everyone on Earth is bad, but this could also be a sign that she wants the Na'vi to go to war with Jake's home planet. Going on the offense alone would speak to some giant steps forward for the Na'vi, as they haven't traveled in space before. In any case, Avatar 5's story tease is quite unexpected, and that's why sequels are always worth the wait. The long-awaited Avatar: The Way of Water will make a splash at theaters soon, with its third sequel already in the works. That's a wrap for this video, so are you excited about the new sequel? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.